Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel, John Repeat, where I react to iconic music, artists, albums, and other bits and pieces and put stuff on repeat. I don't have my glasses on this video because I just got myself a new ring light and the reflection was so much. So I'm so sorry that you're seeing me without my glasses, but there's nothing I can do about that. So I will be carrying on my Who Is series where I look at retrospective careers for artists that I find interesting, and today I'm doing it on Lana Del Rey. If you're not familiar with Lana Del Rey, I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, but just in case you're not, she is an American singer born in New York, famous for her artistry, which is very melancholic, cinematic, and draws on a lot of influences from Americana. She is probably one of the most influential artists in a generation. She's influenced songwriting for countless artists from Billie Eilish to Taylor Swift. So I'm so excited to review her work in one big video. So this video will be a bit longer than my other Who Is videos, mainly because I'm such a huge super fan of Lana Del Rey, but I also think a lot of her works have really shown her growth in a lot of different ways, and I don't think it would be complete if I didn't review all of these songs. So without further ado, let's start. The first song I'll be listening to is her debut single, Video Games, and this was back in 2012. Let's go. I love a string. I love a string. I love anything violin-y. It creates this alternate world that sounds like the start of a Disney ballad. And this was the introduction the world had to Lana Del Rey, which is very poetic because it's the start of a story. She's a storyteller. And now look at her, she's achieved so much. Who knew from this beginning? She paints such a picture with her lyrics and imagery, creates this story of these two lovers together. You've got the image of her in the sundress looking fabulous, watching me get undressed, take that body downtown. A lot of these lines are very unique in the spin in which they have on these intimate moments between two partners. I love how earnest these lyrics are. Beautiful melody. Also, not me singing this in 2012, like as a random gay kid from Wigan, thinking that I was like this badass like woman. But it creates such a beautiful image-driven story of young, wild love. I remember the music video for this. I think it was filmed on like photo booth, and it was like a combination of like different, obviously her singing and like lip syncing to it, but like old Hollywood film and like lots of imagery, and it was brilliant. It really was true to her vision. I like as well how the lyrics are very philosophical. It's like a hint towards her deeper retrospective lyrics in the future. I wish that they had an orchestra play this song with Lana. It would be so gorgeous. I love these lyrics too. Swinging in the old bars, swinging with the old stars, living for the fame. You've got that Hollywood glamour, which she's known for. Notice how her lyrics are all rooted within action as well. You can see it play out in your mind, which is so powerful. He holds me in his big arms, like it's romantic. And it really captures that beautiful stage of love where you can't keep your hands off each other. It's great. I love her vocals and the reverb and the effect of them. They sound like straight out of that 60s, 50s Americana that she harkens back to all the time. The harp really complements the romance of the song, and you've got the bells. It almost sounds like wedding bells. I think I like Lana as well because she's so feminine and she sings quite low compared to a lot of other female singers. So when I'm at home singing my heart out, I'm like, oh, I can do it. which is it, you know, and I just think she has just such beautiful imagery. It's just gorgeous. Okay, next one is Born to Die. This was another single. Gorgeous. See, it has the wistful quality of her voice juxtaposed with that beat. It's just magic. It's like talking about life and life after death and take me to the finish line, take me to the end. That when you love somebody and you're questioning mortality and questioning the afterlife and whether they would be accepted into heaven like you. Interesting, very introspective. And it's touching again on this idea of not having life figured out, not knowing what the end ultimately will mean, but just enjoying the ride whilst you're there. Shows with the keep making me laugh, let's go get high. It's a fun relationship. It's not necessarily 100% serious. I mean, that's it as well. Let me kiss you hard in the pouring rain. It's giving something out of a rom-com. Again, it creates that visual in your mind. You know me, I love a visual. I remember researching Lana and her background, and she said that she was always obsessed with death growing up and these introspective thoughts. And so this song completely makes sense. She's like confronting mortality. I suppose it could be a deeper meaning as well about the relationship. We were born to die, our relationship was born to die. At the minute it sounds very fun and casual, but are they incompatible? Maybe this sort of idea of mortality and all of that could actually be symbolic and represent how they're completely different morals wise. Maybe they're not on the same page, maybe there's no future there. So you can interpret it in a lot of different ways. I remember the video when she was on the throne with the tiger. Iconic! So iconic. I mean, what we can see within Ten's pop music is initially there was a lot of optimism in the beginning of the 2010s. It was following on from like the recession and stuff like that. And slowly throughout the decade, a lot more deeper, darker themes emerge within pop music. And I think a huge driving force behind that has been Lana Del Rey and her lyrics that are can be seen as depressing, very melancholic, focus on introspective themes, which towards the tail end of the 2010s and the mid-2010s was something that was becoming more and more apparent within pop music. So I think she contributed to a really great shift within pop music, within lyrical content, and not just that, but stylistically as well. Okay, next song I'm listening to is Ride. Let's go. I still get chills whenever I hear that. I remember being in my room, and I suffer from a lot of anxiety, and I have since I was younger. And there's something about this song. When I heard this song, I was in my room in the attic at the time, and those first few notes, I feel like they convey so much without even saying words. That anxiety, that fear, but that release of it. I remember listening to this song and I really connected with the lyrics and just about riding and letting go. It's amazing what she's done for people, being able to listen to her music and connect with it in that way. Gorgeous tone. Also, not me singing this when I was like 17 talking about daddy. What was I doing? But it's not just about that. It's about the whole message of like being free. I also love her monologue on the music video version of this. I remember just like having that in my favorite quotes section on Facebook for years. Love it. And I think that also introduced us to her as a poet as well. And the concept of her as a poet and an artist through and through, not just musically. And we see that later in her career with Violet, Bent Over Backwards Over the Grass, or I can't remember the specific name, but that spoken word poetry, all of that. See, back again with the blues. Again, evoking that sense of nostalgia. It's interesting, the whispering part of those lines repeating, it creates this sense of exhaustion, this tiredness, this tentative acceptance of one's feelings. Really adds to the build-up here towards the chorus. Again, you've got the imagery of the birds, the summer breeze, like she's riding on a Harley Davidson somewhere. I remember also the image from the music video where she was on the tire swing. That's an iconic image with the stars. Wasn't a fan of the Native American headdress though, Lana. You should know better than that. But loved the image of her on the tire swing. It was so good. I like the juxtaposition between those two lines, dying young and playing hard. Very youth-charged, dying young, reckless, and playing hard. That evokes just such a excitement. And then you've got, that's the way my father made his life an art. So that line seems more centered. And I like how that's juxtaposed there. Love this bridge. I'm tired of feeling like I'm fucking crazy. I'm tired of driving till I see stars in my eyes. Sometimes you can have too much of that. It shows the intensity of her need to be free and escape, and not having a home, not feeling centered. It seems like she's grappling with a lot of conflicting feelings and emotions and a lot of overwhelm. Love the way she changes the melody so it goes higher at the end. The next song I'll be listening to is West Coast by Lana from her 2014 album Ultraviolence. Down on the West Coast, they got a saying, if you're not drinking, then you're not playing. I love that intro. It's so unique. It really pulls you into that place. Prioritizing yourself, your career, what you want over somebody else. Sounds like she's the person in the one-sided relationship who's like calling the shots. It's like she's the avoidant and they're the anxious attached. She's like, you saying you miss me and I want to say I miss you so much, but something's stopping her. Something is stopping her from that connection. I love this song as well because I think it explores different influences for Lana. More of a rock influence that we see in Ultraviolence and that continues throughout her career. Again, she's describing the West Coast, silver starlets, back again with that old Hollywood glamour and rock and roll groupies. Again, it evokes that sense of recklessness, fun, youth, hedonism that she loves mentioning. You push it harder, pull away, I'm feeling hotter than fire. I guess that no one ever really made me feel that much higher. I think that personally evokes a sense of like she's being desired in this relationship, she's feeling chased in this relationship, she's feeling, you know, sat within her energy, and there's something intoxicating about feeling desired and loved and needed. And again, it's showing that early stage in a relationship where it's just sex and just drunken love. I'm not sure what his parliament's on fire and his hands are up would mean. Is parliament's like a way of governing. Parliament's on fire, something very serious, that's what I evoke. His parliament's on fire, so it's almost like his responsibilities are on fire, his previous cares are on fire, and his hands are up, he's surrendered to her, and he's having a good time with her, and they're just living for the moment and not thinking about the consequences, which I think we all kind of want to do sometimes a little bit with somebody that we like. I love the guitar, I love the way that it contributes towards this end of the song, it really elevates it. Gorgeous harmonies too. Okay, so the next song I'm listening to is Ultraviolence from the same album. Again, it's that mysterious, dark themes. So this is kind of going to more of her submissive side, I would say. Kind of sounds like ultraviolet, like the light, UV, the brilliance of that light, but in ultraviolence, like how it's like a portmanteau of these two words. So this is interesting. If it's still got that Baroque element, it's still got those strings, it's still got that orchestral sound, but it's got more of that guitar, that rock influence that we see later on in her career as well. I like Call It Poison Ivy again. It's following on from that initial first verse. Jim taught me that loving him was never enough. Abusive, problematic dynamic there. I can see why people think that it's like a glorifying abuse. Maybe it should have been clearer that if this is like a consensual thing or not. But it's, I mean, she's under no obligation to do that. I mean, she is an artist and she can sing and create art based on whatever she wants to. And I don't know who this Jim person is. Let me know who this person is. I don't know who it is. I like violins. It sounds like violence as well. And I can hear sirens, like ambulances, the stress, the drama. She's addicted to the drama of it all. Woodstock, again, evoking that sense of nostalgia. Heaven is on Earth. We saw that prior with Born to Die and video games. I love her way of representing very enmeshed relationships. It's quite fun. Don't recommend you get into one of those. Lay me down tonight in my linen and cos. That's just her energy. That's the vibe, the world that she creates with these songs. I love the way she does the ad-lib there. It's almost like a dream that she's creating, and it sounds beachy, it sounds relaxed, it sounds chill, but she's talking about these really dark themes, which is really good contrast. The next song I'll be listening to is Love, and that's from Lust for Life. I love the melody of this whole song, and the visual of her with the daisies in her hair on this album is so cool. Gorgeous. I almost view this as like her giving advice to her younger self in a way, and saying, you know, the world's a really dark place, you can get the blues. Again, she's evoking that sense of nostalgia and Americana with the blues, but, you know, that doesn't mean that you should abuse it, that doesn't mean that you should give up on life. beautiful. And you still got those violins, you still got that orchestral element. This is the breakdown. I think that's very reminiscent of our older work with the bridge here. And she switches up the perspective towards the end in the way that she's relating to it herself is enough just to make her go crazy. She was one of those kids once. I suppose it's also recognising, that the fact that you don't know what's going to happen when you're young, and there's a lot of trepidation about the future, but it's okay to not know where you are at. And she continues throughout her artistry to evoke that sense of being young and in love and feeling those butterflies and the romance and the story. Gorgeous. Next song is Lust for Life with The Weeknd. I love this collaboration. Just back to that kind of whisper singing that she's done previously in like Born to Die and all that. Keeping me hot like July forever. Beautiful simile there. And climb up the H of the Hollywood sign. In these stolen moments, the world is mine. That optimism for the future, that hedonism. And again, the Americana. Ah, beautiful. Again, she's like evoking the sense of that lust, that passion, just getting your life and, you know, being involved with someone like that. Such a beautiful song. Oh, such beautiful vocals. I mean, The Weeknd and Lana are kind of like two sides of the same coin, right? Two sides of a dynamic that they both love. Yeah, and a lust for life, it keeps us alive, it keeps us going, it gives us meaning and happiness and purpose. I like how in the vocals, The Weeknd's now added into this this bit with the Gotta Dance Till We Die, the Hollywood sign, the verses. And we've got the same perspective from The Weeknd singing the same lines, shows they're on the same page and they just want to rip each other's clothes off, basically. Oh my god. The Weeknd is so sexy though, oh my god. Their voices are so in sync and so similar, and very complementary with each other. There's not a lot of contrast. I mean, it's interesting because Lana's voice is quite low for a woman, and then you've obviously got The Weeknd who's singing very high, so it creates this contrast in that way, but you've also got like them singing in the same sort of wistful melodies and the same sort of, it seems very intimate with each other. They're both on the same page, just different spectrums. Oh, I love The Weeknd when he does that run there. They use a lot of colour in this song to represent things. Green being go, blue skies, beauty, and using the natural world to communicate that. Okay, so the next song I'm going to be listening to is Mariner's Apartment Complex from Norman fucking Rockwell. One of the most acclaimed albums she's written. And this is an interesting departure from her previous songs, and it's a lot more acoustic. You took my sadness out of context at the Mariner's Apartment Complex. I ain't no candle in the wind. She's not going anywhere. She's not weak. She's not flitting between different things. She's not unstable. I'm the board, the lightning, the thunder. The kind of girl who's going to make you wonder who you are and who you've been. She's obviously talking to this person, but I mean, I suppose you could interpret that in her whole career. A lot of people thought she'd be like a flash in the pan and that she was gimmicky and she wouldn't last, but she isn't. She's proved that she's stronger than that. She's a force of nature. And she really does make maybe in her relationships and also like her career. People think about life and think about the future and become introspective themselves. And who I've been is with you on these beaches, your Venice bitch, your die hard, your weakness. Maybe I could save you from your sins. The sky and whisper to Jesus. You've got the imagery, the religious imagery that she's known for, obviously in Born to Die, etc. as well. Maybe she can be his salvation. Maybe she's talking about this relationship, like maybe you thought that it wasn't going to last, you thought that I was just some candle in the wind flitting and I'm gone in an instant and I'm unstable, but I'm still here, and this relationship that we were in, maybe it's turning into something beautiful. And then I like the beachy imagery as well of this song of like the Mariner's apartment complex. You've got like the sea energy there, and then your Venice bitch kind of sounds like a Venice beach. So you've got like that kind of seaside chill vibe. So I mean, this is kind of like more mature theme-wise. She's talking less about this hedonistic love and this infatuation, and more about, you know, the growing love that you have with somebody and the fact that you're there for somebody. You'll command the boat to you again. Again, it's that seaside imagery of the waves and the tide. You're lost at sea, but she'll be right there with you. And you didn't expect that from her, but she is. She's wanting to be with you. Maybe that's a relevance to like her career as well, because I know she's had a lot of negative things that people have said about her. She's had a lot of moments. I don't necessarily agree with 100% of the things that she said. But can't a girl just do the best she can? I think maybe she's in a place where she's accepting her weaknesses and accepting that she's not perfect, and in this relationship she isn't. But being in love with somebody, you don't always have to be perfect with them. It's about showing up and being your best self. Catch a wave again with the beach imagery, taking the sweetness, like the sweetness of the ocean spray. That's what I get from that. Think about it, the darkness, the deepness, all the things that make me who I am. At this stage in her career, she's very firmly knowing who she is. She knows what she brings to the table. And so you could argue that, you know, she's talking about herself in a relationship, but maybe in a career-wise as well, the deep introspective lyrics that she has makes her who she is and makes her stand out. I love the way resistance, distance, the way that you've got the assonance there. Even in the dark, I feel your resistance. You can see my heart burning in the distance. You've got that juxtaposition of the darkness and the feel the darkness, but then the burning and the brightness of that burning. It's all kind of distorting. And it's like almost represents like fall into this love more with me. Great. Next one I'm listening to is Norman fucking Rockwell. I love you. That's such a funny line. I mean, I'm not saying that we've all been with this person, but sometimes you're with people and you're involved with people who don't have like the best emotional intelligence. You fucked me so good that I almost said I love you. That self-awareness of the nature of the relationship. We've all been there. Sometimes the worst people are just really good and bad, and that's a cross we all have to bear. I love the painting of this person of like, you're fun and you're wild, but you don't know half of the shit that you put me through. Like having to manage like bad male behaviour. This person can't take responsibility for their lack of progress in life and has a big ego. That's what I can decipher from this. Because you're just a man, it's just what you do. I think it is tying into the idea of like bad male behaviour and like man children. Your head in your hands as you colour me in blue. Again, blue being used as this metaphor throughout her career is like meaning different things actually, because you've got like the lightness of the blue and the beauty of the blue, but like blue using the colour to make you feel sad and melancholy. She's building the story further, adding more specific details about this person, which is really good. Why wait for the best when I could have you? Like, that's settling. This is such a common feeling that I think a lot of people can relate to, of like settling for people who, you know, are not great, but you just kind of stuck with them and you love them. And I love that you talk to the walls when the party gets bored of you. Like, he's clearly a problem for like everybody, him just being an asshole, but you know, she still loves him. And I think it relates to the title Norman fucking Rockwell, because apparently he was like that. Gorgeous. Ooh, sing it, Lana. She's got such a beautiful falsetto. And again, that effect of that distortion. Penultimate song I'll listen to is Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Let's go. Chemtrails over the country club. I'm on the run with you, my sweet love. There's nothing wrong contemplating God under the chemtrails over the country club. So like chemtrails are like those things from the planes, I think. She really loves biblical religious imagery, and I think that picks up, you know, maybe in the beginning, but certainly towards the end, she kind of follows that sort of theme. Is she kind of recounting a previous experience, potentially, when she was a child, which is, you know, fills a lot of nostalgia with the song. Baby, what's your sign? I think that, like, Chemtrails Under the Country Club and that whole album really goes back to, like, her previous life before fame and, like, her childhood and things like that. Because I know she's, like, white dress, she talked about when she was a waitress and all of that. I think this is kind of maybe potentially from her childhood and her past and recounting that. It's like wanting to get back to that wildness of youth, and I don't care what they think, that must be so liberating at the time, and like wanting to go back to that person used to be. Maybe the Chemtrails Under the Country Club kind of represent how like her previous like childhood and life and all of that positivity, it's like kind of being poisoned in a way. Like it's sort of an unsettling image, like the idea of the chemtrails going over the country club. Like gradually that world's kind of like falling apart, and I would argue a country club represents like kind of an old piece of Americana, and the planes obviously represent the new, so it's almost kind of like looking back over that positive halcyon experience with kind of more foresight and kind of more experience to know that that world was deteriorating, if that makes sense. That's how I would view it. And it's like, as the summer gets cool, I love that line. Obviously the summer representing the positive times in her life as it gets cool, as she grows up and gets older maybe. You know, the beauty of a simple, normal life that maybe she misses now. What to do next, maybe we'll love it. Like that optimism for the future, that optimism for happiness and hope for the beauty of life has gone because she's older now and she's seen it all. And it's like White Picket, Chemtrails Over the Country Club. I would argue that's kind of like the beauty of the ideal and the ideal of what the future would look like and it being destroyed in a way. And that hope and optimism for the happiness of life and the future that she wants back again. That's how I'd view it. Gorgeous melodies. Okay, so the final song I'm listening to is Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, her most recent album release. I love how she's kept this cinematic quality to her music for the whole time. I mean, you can see the themes of her music have really matured as she's got older. She dabbled in rock with like Ultraviolence, and as you know, we see from like Lust for Life, those mature themes come through. Norman fucking Rockwell, absolutely iconic. It's just really interesting to see. So, did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Mosaic ceilings, painted tiles on the wall. I can't help but feel somewhat like my body marred my soul. Handmade beauty sealed up by two man-made walls. So it's like the beauty underneath, like within the man-made walls, within like this seemingly normal, regular, everyday thing, there's that beauty in the mosaics. She's almost like comparing Ocean Boulevard and the mosaics to her own soul and how it's deep and beautiful, but it's been sealed up by these walls, maybe from her trauma with men or life in general. You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of somebody who has so much beauty and so much love together inside them, but no one's giving them the time of day. When's it going to be my turn? When's it going to be my turn for somebody to appreciate the beauty within me? When is it someone's turn to discover me? Open me up, tell me like it fucked me to death, love me until I love myself. That low self-esteem of not feeling like you've got that connection. Of course, the tunnel under Ocean Boulevard is within everybody. No, she's like referring to this woman. Is it herself feeling stuck, or kind of an example? There's a girl who sings Hotel California not because she loves the notes or sounds that sound like Florida. It's because she's in a world preserved. She's afraid of change. She's afraid of the future and stuck in the past and who she used to be. Only a few have found the door. It's like Camarillo, only silver mirrors running down the corridor. That's how I would interpret that. Of course, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Well, that's not true, but like healthily. Oh, she's exploring the theme of loneliness as well, and wishing she had somebody in her life to share those magical experiences with. Oh, interesting vocals, how they contrast with Lana's, and they're it's a lot stronger, a lot more soulful and powerful. And then she's obviously got that very whispery vocal. She's talking about herself as well, because obviously there is like a lot of misogyny within like the music industry, and I know a lot of artists have spoken up about this before, of like women in the industry feeling like they're forgotten about after a certain age. So maybe she's saying don't forget me, like the tunnel under Ocean Boulevard from a career perspective, because she basically had it, a lot of people would argue, a magnum opus with normal fucking Rockwell, and she's kind of like don't forget me, don't forget the soul, the beauty of the soul that I've shown you throughout my whole career. You could maybe argue. She sounds like she's crying as she says that. Wow. So that was it. That was my Who Is on Lana Del Rey. What are some of your favourite songs from Lana? Let me know in the comments. If you like this, please like and subscribe. It means the absolute world to me. It really supports me and my channel. And let me know in the comments what you think about Lana, what you think about her growth as an artist. Any other artists you'd like me to react to, let me know. And until next time, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you later. Bye. Bye.